What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the pipeline. Um, if you in here, let's comment, let's chat. It's an open panel. I'm gonna let y'all get some time to come on in here while I finish getting the rest of this little stuff set up. I've been gone. I've been gone all day. I just got in the house, but I'm gonna let y'all come in here real quick so we could just discuss a couple things. I don't even been in the house 20 minutes, y'all. Um, Shout out to the pipeline, man. Shout out to the pipeline for these emails that been coming in the last couple days, man. Thank you to each and every last one of y'all. Don't think for a second that I let up on the book debating case. Don't think that. My thing is I don't do things for clickbait. I don't do things for numbers. I don't do things for views. I do it simply to talk to the masses and to pick y'all brains and elevate y'all mindsets on a lot of different possibilities on what could happen with the decisions we make and the people we choose to be around. And also jealousy and envy. So when I talk to the masses, you know? So one thing too for certain, justice for Courtney Bruce, justice for Courtney Bruce. I'm not just gonna keep running. I don't believe in running people names and stuff just for stories and content. I don't. I figured we got to a good point in Boog the Bandit's case where I felt like out of respect for her family and her fans, I didn't feel like it was nothing else that we can continue to talk about until some more movement happened. Until something else happened. Because we flipped this thing over in so many different ways and so many people has came to the pipeline on every side of the family. Fans, people who didn't know Boog, who is now very familiar with her, who love her music. A lot of people have came to the pipeline who didn't have a clue on who Boog the Bandit was. Not saying she didn't have fans and people who loved her, but we also bought some new fans and everything, fell in love with her through us covering her story, to people showing so much love and support to Boog. I have so many emails and comments of people saying, thank you for introducing me to her. I did not know who she was. She is very talented. I wish I would have knew who she was before all of this happened. You know what I'm saying? So I know what I do. I'm doing a good job at it. And there's a lot of people who trying to get me to change my narrative. Y'all, to me, this was my thing that made me fall back. Everything we talked about in Boog the Bandit's case, we know who could play the part, who couldn't have played a part. But at the end of the day, everybody is entitled to their opinion and they gonna feel how they want to feel. So with Mr. McIntyre being the last one, they rounded. I think if I was to give my own opinion, I think it's more people involved than what we may know, and that's just my opinion. But the police and the feds, they know way more than we know. But just from how this story seems, how it was set up, and how she was backdoored, it seemed like it was more people involved in what people were saying. So y'all already know. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hey, Cora. Hey, who is that? Willie. Hey, Willie. Shout out to the T-Town. What's going on, y'all? So, I had to come to y'all tonight because I was gonna wait. Y'all know I'm still gonna do the stuff with the Williams family. Don't worry about that. I'm just setting a date. The date will be Friday at 7 o'clock because there's some things that we have to address with the Williams family. I most definitely ain't forget. I just have to take time and the way my energy is set up, y'all. Y'all know I be on a high vibrational level, and I think it's weird that the Williams family decide to come for the pipeline after we pretty much was at the end and everything. What is there to talk about Mr. Williams? What is there to talk about? We know he a little dirty dude. We know the part he played. He's in jail. Like, what is the problem? And then here, I know what the problem is because it's they relative. We get that part, but I'm not gonna even get into that. I'm gonna wait for y'all to come Friday because I don't want to give y'all too much too quick. So Friday, Just be here Friday at 7 p.m. Another thing I want to talk about, these emails that's coming to the pipeline. Man, shout out to y'all. My pipeline is the truth. I love y'all so much. It's time for me to speak back out on this case because it seemed like the minute I let up, people started getting comfortable, and I see people popping back out, people back on social media. Everybody got 2 and 3 pages now. All these people who got these initials, y'all know who I'm talking about. We talk about them all the time. I see people thought it was over and pop back out like we still ain't trying to get justice for BOOG. So since I think people comfortable and popping back out, I think it's time for them to go back in because they don't realize how important, how special she was. This case is not closed. People is still under investigation. So why people feeling like it's okay to just be moving freely? They can pop back out. Everybody's social media is back active under different names. My pipeline already hunted them down. I already got everybody new Instagram. I'm already on. We 2 steps ahead of what they think they doing. Like, ain't nothing about to go under the radar. BOOG is love. This case is still an open investigation. Mr. McIntyre is still on the run. I'm going to tell y'all something about Mr. McIntyre. Man, can't nobody be hiding that little dirty dude out but his family. Who about to hide him out? But his family. And the crazy part is eventually they're going to have to give him up because if they don't, guess what? They going to jail for harboring a fugitive. That's exactly what's going to happen. This is my thing with people who claim they love their family members. They got they back. They love them. That's not love because the longer he run, the more worse the consequences is going to be. The longer he stay on the run, man, we know the police is lazy and they don't really like moving like that. Mr. McIntyre is making them work. If street justice don't catch up to him, which we hope they don't, some people feel like they do, allegedly. Some people do want street justice. But my thing is, eventually, what you do in the dark always gonna come to the light. It's gonna catch up. They gonna catch up with him. That's why I don't feel like, I think that's why people feeling like they could get comfortable again because Mr. McIntyre has not been captured yet. It was all over social media. Man, I got the receipts. We gonna show all that Friday. Don't worry about nothing. I got y'all. Don't worry about it. Man, listen. The Williams family is all on Facebook talking about how Mr. Kyson, this ain't no allegedly. I got the receipts. I saw this for myself. The Williams family is on Facebook talking about how Mr. Kyson hired and recruited. They said Mr. Kyson recruited Mr. McIntyre and Mr. Williams. They blaming Kyson. This ain't no allegedly. This is a fact. Proof. Receipts. It's on Facebook. They families is going back and forth. The Williams family, the Murphy family, and the McIntyre family. They feel like Kyson recruited and hired them boys. They family know what's going on. We on the outside. But the receipts come straight to the pipeline from the people around them. The receipts coming from the people who is around they family. So how the Williams family gonna get mad at me for some shit that's all public information? Everything in Mr. Williams' case, everything tied up to Mr. Williams is public information. Ain't nobody lying on that little dirty dude. We ain't gotta make nothing up on Mr. Williams. Maybe y'all failed him as a family. Maybe y'all threw him away. Because if y'all probably would have showed him more love and emotional support, the young man wouldn't have been out here a menace and committing all these heinous crimes. Mr. Williams is connected to another murder. It's public information. I got the receipts. Shout out to the pipeline. So why would we have to create a narrative, right? Why would we have to create a narrative on Mr. Williams to just say, oh, he in jail for the murder? Like, what's wrong with the Williams family? That's why I said it probably ain't the whole family, but man, something going on over there with that family because they threw that young man away. Who knows what Mr. Williams could have been? with enough love and support. But he turned out to be a killer. He's connected to another body besides BOOG. What is they talking about? That's why I said, wait till Friday. I ain't know nothing what they talking about with that little dirty dude. And I will show the receipts Friday. And that's just what it is. And we're going to go deeper into the story. All the families is beefing on social media. Facts. They said Kyson hired, allegedly, but it is on Facebook, but I got to say allegedly, because the receipts, I got the receipts with the parents arguing and everything, the parents' name and information and everything. These is family members of theirs sending me this stuff. But out of respect, with me being the mother and can understand their situations as parents, I chose not, and I'm going to choose still not to release certain information because these is real people lives that is affected. I'm not about to go release these kids information and such like that. That's why I called them initials and by their last name. But the killers who's in jail, we all know their names, so ain't no need to give them no nicknames. These is people real lives that could be affected. A lot of the information I won't release just because of that. But you got to understand, when you go to the internet and go to social media, the shit is public information with everybody involved. So where is the secret? The only secret that it is that they lying. They and Mr. McIntyre family got to be hiding him out. Man, that little dude, he ain't even grown. What money do he have? This a little dirty dude who's a kid. He's so confused and lost. Same thing with him. Lack of support on his side. They holding that little boy, harboring him. They gonna go to jail for harboring a fugitive. And the longer they keep hiding him out, the worser it's gonna be. So either they gonna end up in the jail cell right with him. Either which way it go. What resources do we have? The lifestyle that he living in them boys is possible he could still catch another case and still end up getting locked up on another case and they get him for BOOG. Who knows? Allegedly, Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre is adopted brothers or like brothers. That's the word on the street. So many different people came to the pipeline in my lives. We all have seen them say and comment that they is adopted brothers. Mr. Kyson allegedly hired them. So my thing is, in the pipeline and the masses, what we trying to figure out is who the hell sent Mr. Kyson? That is the big question. Who sent Mr. Kyson? What was the motive about going to Miss Wanda's house and taking that jewelry? What was the reason for everybody's actions that's involved in this? What's the reason? A lot of people feel like Mr. Lockhart do got something to do with it. Listen, I can't throw that man under the bus or whatever. He's not a suspect and he's not in custody. We got to go with the proof when it comes to certain things. We could go with the street shit too, with the allegedly, because the streets know what happened. They know what happened. The streets is coming to the pipeline, dropping the receipts all in my lives and all in my emails. We don't have to lie about Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre. There's no point to keep talking about Mr. Kyson. The only thing we need to know is who sent him. And why, if Mr. Lockhart has something to do with it, why Kyson ain't roll over on Mr. Lockhart? That's a big question. If Mr. Lockhart was so connected with this, he's not in jail, he's not a suspect. Kyson, nobody rolled over on Mr. Lockhart. So can the streets still persecute him and family members? Absolutely, because they gonna feel how they want to feel. Can't change how nobody feel about their loved one, especially when they involved and connected to the case. So how could you get mad at anybody for feeling no kind of way when it comes to Mr. Lockhart? But the proof is still the proof, and that's just what it is. Now, the other people that could be involved, I think it's still an extensive investigation that's going on, and I believe all of this is still gonna come to a head. Look how quick Kyson's told. I don't even think Kyson was locked up 30 days before he told on everybody. How long y'all think it was? It couldn't have been no more than 30 days. But I'm starting to notice through these emails and what I found and seen from my pipeline in the last couple of days, I see people popping back out. It's a lot of people, since the pipeline bagged up, they coming back out them holes. Because remember, everybody was outside. until the movement got to picking up in the case and them boys got rounded up. Everybody went back inside. Now everybody popping back out. It's still an open investigation, people, but this is what the police is looking at. This is what I'm telling y'all. The feds is always watching. The police is watching everybody that could have been involved, right? We had Khalid Boog brother come over to the pipeline and say they went through them boys' phone records and this been planned for months. This been planned for months. Like I told y'all, man, they just ain't run down on her and Mr. Lockhart on Dirt Place just out the blue like that. This was all set up. Her brother came and said they been planning this for months. They got their phone records. Y'all don't think the police is watching them? I'm still confused about the 911 caller and her actions. I'm not trying to say she wasn't doing a good thing because the lady did sound terrified. The lady sound shook in the video. I mean, in the 911 call. But she's, to me, and what other people are saying in the masses coming through the channel, is that the lady seemed like she knows something more than what she knows. They feel like that, and I also feel like that. It's things that we do feel like the lady was trying to save her. It seemed like, but to me, from the lady saying she just rolled past the 911 caller, she just rolled past. And she heard all that and saw all that just off of riding by. And Boog wasn't even in her car. Boog was not in the pink car. She drove the black car to Mr. Lockhart's house. And that's another thing, too, that we got to talk about the situation with the car being moved. That's something we also going to talk about Friday. But I just wanted to come and talk to y'all because I felt from the emails, the pipeline always sending me shit. That's why when the Williams family like, you lying, you lying on Mr. Man, nobody lying on that dude. My pipeline is the truth. My pipeline need to be private investigators. Facts they do. Because I'm the truth with finding shit out. But man, my pipeline, they own it. 2 steps ahead. 2 steps ahead. And I also have to double check the information that they send me before I get up on this microphone and talk to y'all. So I'm not about to just talk like this and ain't having nothing to back nothing up when I'm talking the way I'm talking. These is sources that's close to all of them. Why they thinking they so low key and they trusting people, them same people they talking to coming straight to the pipeline anonymous. Like, oh, well, Mr. Lockhart, he over here. Oh, MJ over there. KB just da-da-da. Oh, yeah, such and such is this. Oh, what's the name? Social media back up. Here go the link. Bam, bam. Come on, man. Shout out to the pipeline. So when they say we lying on Mr. Williams, it's obviously we not lying on him. He's in custody for murder. And he is attached to another murder at a library. Google it. It's public information. Everything we talk about on the pipeline is public information. So ain't nobody just making nothing up in the streets sending receipts too. But ain't nobody about to just go and lie on none of these characters. The proof is there. We know allegedly MJ would pull what she pulled. We know the role KB pulled at the funeral and went with her to the house. We know the role Mr. Lockhart played and took her to the hospital. Left, came back. We know the whole story. It's really, like I said before, why the Williams family chose to come out now. Only thing I could think of is they want some more answers on the story because obviously Mr. Williams must be lying to them in jail over the phone because we was already at the end of the conclusion on this situation. Only thing we was waiting on was for Mr. McIntyre to get locked up. That's it. The stuff with Jamanda and him being adopted brothers or like brothers, I could believe that. I could believe that. Even if I don't know it for a fact, but too many people that came over here saying the same thing for that not to be true. We could understand some stuff, be like, okay, well, we don't know about that. Maybe that person lying. But when more than 2, 3 people keep saying it, man, it got to be some truth to that. It got to be some kind of truth to that. And then on social media, all the families is arguing and pointing the fingers at Kyson. But how was Kyson the one who get the lowest plea deal if he wasn't the ringleader? Is it immunity that he took and they gave him that? I still don't understand that, even with his record. Because all of them was all about to do some time. Them boys, like I said, just go check their records out. They all had open cases. They all was back and forth in court. They all was about to end up doing some time for the stuff they've been doing. It was just a coincidence. All it is, I'm not even gonna say it was no coincidence because it wasn't. I feel like the city of Columbus, the police department, failed the people because if they would have locked these young men up according to their crimes, Courtney Bruce would still be alive. I believe Courtney Bruce would still be alive, and I'm sticking with that. They should have did their job and locked them boys up sooner. It don't matter about them boys being young, they juvies and this and that and the other. The crimes they was doing, they was on their way to do some big time sooner or later. Sooner or later, because that's the route they was going. But obviously, looking at them dirty little dudes, because that's what I call them. I don't even like calling them by their names. Them little dirty dudes was jealous and envious, and it was all planned and set up, and Mr. Kyson got hired, allegedly. Mr. Kyson got hired to go hire and recruit them young men to commit this murder with him. And that's how it happened. BOOG was backdoored by somebody that she knew. She would not be on Dork Place. She had no reason to be on Dork Place. She didn't hang with them little dirty dudes. Them dudes was paid to do this. And if they didn't get paid, they was gonna split the little money up. But Mr. Kyson juked them and called the family member and told the family member to come pick up the bread. So where is we lying at? Shout out to the pipeline. Where is we lying at about lying on these little dirty dudes? They came from broken families or broken love. Obviously, they families must have threw them away or something, and they ran to the streets. Sorry about that. Don't come blaming them personal issues and them generational traumas on the pipeline because y'all chose to throw them young men away and they turned out to be murders. This is public information. People love BOOG, man. We got to get justice for BOOG. Them little dirty dudes, Mr. McIntyre, he do need to get locked up. Why they can't find him yet, still blowing me. It's still blowing me. Only thing it is with that young dude, I think Mr. McIntyre is 17. He said, I think he's 17 or 19. Mr. McIntyre is 17. Jamanda is 19. Mr. Williams is 19. Mr. McIntyre, either he was peer pressure, he was paid, or he just didn't give a shit. Because then Mr. Williams was on some bullshit anyways. Either which way it go, they still ended up getting juked. Mr. Kyson got hired to pull this allegedly. He told them little dirty dudes he was going to pay them if he helped them. The little dirty dudes never got the money. Kyson snitched on everybody, rolled over on them dirty dudes, and never gave them no money. Look what happened. They threw their whole life away for nothing. Nothing. But why the families want to come at the pipeline, y'all should have been giving them young men some hugs and some prep talk. Somebody should have been mentoring them boys and stepped in. Because if they doing this at 17 and 19 years old, man, them boys probably been getting into trouble since they was 10, 12, 11 years old, 13 years old. You just don't jump off the porch like that. Them boys ain't even experienced life. 17 and 19 years old, they haven't even experienced life. They had no clue. Clueless. Vacancy sign upstairs just blinking. Nobody upstairs. Their whole mental is gone. The vacancy light is blinking. Them boys was crying out for help. And if family members would have stepped in, like they step into the pipeline, maybe they could have saved their loved one's life and turned them young boys' life around. But instead, they lost a son, they lost a nephew, and lost a brother to the system. To the system. And hopefully, street justice don't take place with Mr. McIntyre. Hopefully it don't. People is outraged at this. People is outraged that Mr. McIntyre is not in jail. BOOG was loved worldwide, especially the city of Columbus where she was from. She was an icon. She was a legend. People is outraged at what they did to her and how she lost her life. And knowing it was over nothing, Jealousy and envy and over some money, some material. Come on, man, that's crazy. Broken love at its finest, mental illness at its finest. Is it generational curses? Them boys was too young to be out here living the lifestyle that they was living, 17 and 19 years old, connected to other bodies and other crimes. Like, come on, man, that's a lack of something at home or some family issues there. Them boys on drugs and everything else. Look at their mugshot. Mr. Kyson is smiling on his mugshot. It's the tea for me. Yes. What's up, Nadia? It is the tea. So would you say it was more than a robbery? Isaiah said. I do. I do. I think it was more than a robbery. The pipeline, we feel like, everybody over here feel like it was more than a robbery. It was a setup. It was some jealousy and envy in this. And my thing is, did that jury play a part? Did that jury, that everybody, like, it just seemed like something with this jury, with this jury. Could it be a score lover? Could it been jealousy and envy? Everybody love Boog. Boog wasn't out to hurt nobody. Boog wasn't no shit starter. She wasn't about no drama. Boog just wanted to educate people and bring people with her and be great. Be great. But she was robbed of that. She was robbed of that. Was Mr. Lockhart, I want to ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all feel, hold on, Jay Black, sound like a backdoor play, rest in peace, but absolutely. She most definitely was backdoored. She most definitely was backdoored. And that's the sad part about it, y'all, because first of all, when do you ever get street credit for murdering a girl? That's the whole that whole thing right there is this female rapper. Y'all know what? It was one female rapper. It was one female rapper who got did worse than Boog. And somebody reminded me of this female. And this was tragic. So I'm like, when this happened to Courtney, I'm like, man, female artists don't get done this way. It don't get done this way. Female artists, we hear about like drug overdose or maybe domestic violence issues or whatever. But to go about setting her up, pistol whipping her, shooting at the car multiple times. They robbed Mr. Lockhart. They went in Miss Wanda's house, robbed Miss Wanda, stole the jewelry out Miss Wanda. Like, who does this? This is something personal. This was not something that was just random. This was done. Somebody had a personal motive. It was too overboard. It was sloppy. And it was disrespectful to a legend. On top of that, she was a girl. When do you get street cred for killing a girl? That's what I'm saying, the mindset of these young cats. The mindsets of it. Y'all see what I'm saying? And then, y'all, this is another thing that I want to ask y'all, too. Do y'all feel like Mr. Lockhart is innocent or guilty? Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's like 50-50. It was like 60-40. Now it's like 50-50, man. Like, it's a lot of the masses feel like he innocent, and it's a lot of people feel like he has something to do with it. As a people, what y'all think? I think he guilty as shit. I feel like they all played a part, whether it was extremely noticeable or low key. I think he guilty as shit. Listen, y'all. Friday, we got to talk about. Shout out to Winter PX, man. Shout out to Winter PX. Winter PX came over here and dropped some gems. Winter PX dropped some gems. Y'all know how I had felt about Winter PX at first, but then after me and her, we reached out to each other. I reached out to her, told her thank you and everything. I just had to make sure she was credible, everything like that. So she came. She most definitely is credible. She most definitely is credible. And that information got dropped about that car being moved. Here's my thing with the car. How is it that the police didn't get to the car right after the hospital? Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, the car should have been part of the investigation. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? This is allegedly, this is allegedly, this is allegedly. I'm still confused with the towing of the car and how long did it take the police to access the car or get to the car, to get to the car. That's something I'm still kind of confused with, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Because it should have been treated like regular protocol. That's what I'm saying. Is like, it was like the police dropped the ball on some stuff, but then they came and picked the ball back up when they started rounding them boys up. So, like we were saying before, just because some people not in custody now, don't mean they may not go later. But as of this point, he went to the hospital. Let me clear this up. Let me get this together, y'all. Allegedly, he did go to the hospital. He did leave. He came back. And then I guess that's when allegedly, that's when they took him to the police station. He gave his statement, So then after that, I guess after everything with the questioning and all that, allegedly, that's when he had to move out of town. Again, I don't know if he moved out there. He just out there temporarily. I don't know the situation. But Mr. Lockhart is going to be a witness in the case. When it go to trial, he got to give his side of the story unless he choose not to speak in trial. But if he loved her, I don't see why he wouldn't speak. Do y'all think when it come to trial, Mr. Lockhart gonna speak in the trial? Do y'all think he's gonna testify? We have to see what the alibi is when. Yeah. I hope Mr. Lockhart testify. I really do. I hope he testified because remember when the witness, now this is the thing, right? When the paper said the witness identified Mr. Williams as he was the one who pointed the gun at BOOG and started shooting, right? At first, we thought it was Mr. Lockhart who was the witness who said Mr. Williams was the one who bullet allegedly killed Courtney, because he the one who pointed the gun at BOOG and started shooting. Allegedly. Turned out that witness wasn't Mr. Lockhart. That witness was Mr. Murphy. Mr. Kyson told on everybody. That's public information. I seen that for myself, and I got the receipt saying that. Allegedly, Mr. Williams' bullet is the one that killed Courtney. Allegedly. That's not a fact. So that's just allegedly. You said in your video it was more than. Run that back. It disappeared so quick. Yeah, because the Williams family is saying that I said I got a video of Mr. Williams. Come on, bro. That's a goddamn lie. I never said I had no goddamn video because I don't got no video or nothing. What I said was I hope them door ring bells was out there. Yeah, more than one person fired shots. They said it was multiple shots. But this the thing, y'all, like when we be reading them articles and stuff online, like we do see stuff and we read stuff, but we can't always believe the media and stuff on the internet. That's why we always have to do our own research. The media is not always honest. Sometimes you got to read between the lines and do your research because certain stuff, like I said, I read different articles that said different things, just like I came across other bloggers that said different things, different what I'm saying. So we just got to, read in between the lines and because when I first started picking up Courtney's story on day one, the day she passed, when I started picking it up, I heard more than one blogger. I heard many bloggers saying she was shot and walked to the hospital. Like, it was a lot of different stories going on out there. Twitter do most. Damn, I missed that too. Yeah, so when y'all see stuff like that with them articles and stuff, I don't think all of them be false, but sometimes it do be false information or they misspell stuff, and you gotta kind of, put two and two together off of what you know for a fact that happened in this case. So read between the lines, because like I said, I read an article, and the one article I read said multiple shots was fired. Everybody was firing. Then I heard that the car got shot 2 times, just like I heard BOOG got shot like 2, 3, 4 times. It's a lot of different stories going on out there. So what we trying to do is make sense of it all. It's never been that. That's what I'm saying. It ain't never been like that, y'all. This is my thing. But from what the witness was saying, the article I read, it said the witness said that Mr. Williams allegedly was the one who pointed the gun at BOOG and robbed her. It was supposed to have been Mr. Williams allegedly. But then the witness said everybody fired shots. So I don't know if everybody shot 1 time, allegedly 2 times. I don't know. Only thing I know that they said it was multiple, everybody shot and it was multiple shots. So that's just one article I read, but I don't really know the truth. But when they said the witness, people was like, oh, well, Mr. Lockhart had to be the witness. It couldn't have been Mr. Lockhart because all of them had masks on. How would Mr. Lockhart know who was who? I mean, allegedly, if he had something to do with it, allegedly, he would know. But the witness had to be Mr. Kyson when he told his side of the story on what happened. That's how he ended up getting immunity. Now, did Mr. Kyson lie to get immunity? We don't know that. But he do go to court in December, and we will be there to cover every step of that situation. Because they going to get to the truth. So the Williams family was like, oh, show the proof you got the video. I never said I had a proof of a video. I do got receipts on the library incident, little shit with the little dude, with the little dirty dude. And I also have receipts of the stuff with the family arguing on Facebook, pointing the fingers at Mr. Kyson. The Williams family feel like it's Mr. Kyson's fault on why they people is about to get life in jail for murder. Because how is it that Mr. Kyson, they got him on manslaughter? So if Mr. Kyson is on manslaughter, they must have, because think about it, all of them had to have different guns, right? They got to go through bullet forensics and match the bullets up, what gun hit her, what bullet shell was in BOOG and all that. So is that the reason why Mr. Kyson ended up getting manslaughter? Because his bullet wasn't the one that run the fingerprints. The fingerprints too. The fingerprints. But here's my thing, right? So allegedly, this is what I want to know. Why the hell did they go on Dork Plays? Allegedly, and I don't know if this story is true, but this is what a lot of receipts is saying, and this is what a lot of the masses are saying. Allegedly, Mr. Kyson was going to go do the drug deal. That was the whole point of going on Dork Place. Allegedly. I guess they was going to go he took her over there. Cause BOOG don't be on Dork Place. She didn't know she didn't fuck with them little dirty dudes. These little dirty dudes, I guess, was connected with Mr. Kyson people. And MJ allegedly was following Mr. Kyson on goddamn Instagram. Come on, man. How much black and white it gotta be? Why would you be following your whole ex-girlfriend killer on Instagram? Allegedly. That it ain't making sense. So that allegedly was the reason, because people kept saying you got it wrong, it's about the drugs. I'm like, nah, can't be about the drug. BOOG one, they like da. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put all that information, you know what I'm saying, like out like that, but allegedly that's what it boiled down to with the drug story. It's supposed to be they tried to say it was like a drug deal gone bad, but I think it was already set. Cause like Khalib said, BOOG brother, they got their phone records. They've been planning this for months. This was already planned and set up to go, ready to go. How is it that people connecting this Miami trip that people took. The Miami trip a day before Boog had got back. Remember that Miami Sweet Heat trip? They tried to say it was Boog who went on that trip. And we found out that it wasn't Boog that went on that Miami trip. It was MJ who went on that Miami trip the day Boog died and came back the next day. Y'all remember that? Allegedly. These is the stories and scenarios and stuff that's coming to the pipeline. They people trying to connect to see what's going on. So was she just writing with Mr. Lockhart to go shoot this play? And then in the process, did an argument go down? Or because it was because Boog wasn't going. Boog was not about to let them dudes rob her. You either like, man, you're gonna have to take me. I'm not about to give y'all nothing. And that's just pretty much what it was. She resisted the robbery. It's all in public information. It's all on the news. It's all everywhere. She resisted. So when the lady said the 911 caller, let's go back to the 911 caller. The 911 caller say, that's what they said. They said she was going to go do hair, right? We all know she was going to do hair, but somebody emailed the pipeline and was like, you know what? And this was before, y'all, let me tell y'all something. This was before we even knew about Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre when these receipts came to the pipeline. They was like, allegedly, she was going to go do hair. It's a possibility. They didn't say it was a fact. They said it's a possibility she could have been going to go do one of Mr. Kyson friends' hair because all of them got dreads. This was a month way before we even knew about Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre. We didn't know them boys had dreads. Somebody sent that to the pipeline. Who knew them? Maybe, and I said that. I said, could Mr. Williams, was he the mole to get her out the house to go do the hair? But then when her PX Boog cousin came and said, no, she didn't know them. I said, the person hair she was going to go do when her PX, did she know them? And when her PX was like, nah, she didn't know them. She didn't know them. But this was way before. Now, Winter PX confirmed this recently, I think a few weeks ago with that part. But the receipt with the dreadhead dude, that was way before we even knew who Mr. Williams was. We never even knew he had dreads when that receipt came through. They was like, well, maybe it was one of Mr. Kyson friends because all his friends got dreads. Sure enough, here come Mr. Williams' mugshot, head full of dreads. So I was like, damn, I wonder if he was the mole they sent. Dirty Dude Williams had dreads. Mr. McIntyre, that dread especially. What'd you say, Cora? Yeah, the little dirty dude. That's why I'm like, man, he needed them dreads done. Y'all seen them dreads in that mugshot picture? Man, them little dirty dudes. That's why it's so hard for me. Like, I really had to, like, pull back from this case for a minute because how much I love Boog. I am a true fan of Courtney Bruce. True fan. I had to pull away from this shit because I was getting too upset because I still can't believe. Like, for instance, when people pass and they killers who killed them and took them out are legends, it pisses you off. Look at little dirty ass Eric Holder who killed Nipsey Hussle. Like, as big as Nipsey Hussle was, we wouldn't have never thought he would have got took out by a little dirty dude like Mr. Eric Holder. We wouldn't have never seen that coming. And I am wondering if she's related to someone. Do you have you're gonna have to email me for that. Pipeline News 2020 at gmail.com. Pipeline News 2020 at gmail.com. So yeah, I was like, so I be getting pissed off, like how our legends get took out. For instance, Mo3. I love Mo3, true Mo3 fan. True Mo3 fan. Look how they took Mo3 out. Look how they did Mo3. Even you know, some people, I ain't even gonna get into that. That's a different different conversation. Rest in peace to Mo3. But look how they did him broad daylight on the freeway. Pisses you off when you love these talents and these good people that's young legends. Nipsey Hussle. The way they getting took out and the people that's taking them out, it causes you as a fan or a family member or a close friend, it causes you to get upset a little bit. Like, damn, that's how they did you? Like, I wouldn't have never seen Boog. As much as we love Courtney Bruce, man, and her just getting baptized, y'all. That's why I said Boog was a star seed. She had the gift of discernment, man. Boog, she always stayed 2 steps ahead of people. Always stayed 2 steps ahead. Always kept people guessing. She constantly just bust all kind of powerful moves without making no noise. She was powerful but quiet. And when you see people who you love like that, look up to, and they inspire you, and they get done the way that they got done, it pisses you off. It do. It pisses me off that Mr. McIntyre is still on the run. I can't believe they ain't got him yet. But guess what? Y'all think they not on his ass? This is Courtney Bruce is someone who's important. They watching them dudes. They probably got that dude phone. They probably know where he at, but they ain't far behind. They ain't far behind. And somebody is going to tell on Mr. McIntyre and his family. That boy is 17. Come on, man. How long is they really about to hire him out before somebody snitch or he get caught up or the family get tired of taking care of his ass? Come on, man. Y'all know black families. That shit ain't about to last too much longer. He either gonna start flipping out. He can't come outside. He can't come outside. The people who hire him is constantly looking over their shoulders. Everybody is restless. Man, Mr. McIntyre, Boog is hunting that boy in his sleep. He know what he did was wrong. I hope her spirit is giving him nightmares every goddamn night. I hope his nights is very long and stressful. And I hope he has a loss of appetite. And I hope he catch COVID-19. I hope he do. Because that shit that he did and his family is holding him hostage and covering him and hire him out, they gonna go to jail for harboring a fugitive. They making it worse. They making it harder on that young man. The longer he run, the longer y'all keep hiding him out, the time gonna add up. That time gonna add up. They're gonna be like, why it took so long? And then if they gotta go find him and you know, SWAT, come on, man, them taxpaying dollars we spending for them to go look for him and all that. Man, it ain't gonna last long. It ain't gonna last long. They dropping her Risky Part 2 music video tomorrow. I seen that. But come on, man. Y'all know the pipeline kept me 2 steps ahead on that. I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Because that's what we all wanted. That's what we all wanted. We waiting on the music. We want the music. So y'all don't understand how excited I was when I found the cipher. Shout out to one of my subs. I forgot who she was. She jumped in the live like, you got to go to her ciphers. I said, I can't find them. I've been looking for like a month. Where is they at? Man, y'all don't understand how many ciphers I had to go through to find BOOG ciphers. But I could tell you what, shout out to the people in Columbus. Shout out to the people in Columbus for coming to the pipeline, sending the receipts. And also, I was introduced to a lot of new talent while I was checking them ciphers out. It's so much talent in Columbus. It's so much talent in Ohio, period. For some reason, Ohio artists, to me, do not get the recognition they deserve. I don't know if they feel like we not creatively talented enough or what. Is it because we not part of the South? We up north? Like, what? Why do Ohio artists constantly get slept on? I think our artists get cheated. I think we have some of the most talented people in the world in the Midwest. I really do. Up north, Midwest, it was a lot of talent, men and women, that I seen in Columbus, that I was introduced to, that I thought was fire. But back to the female I was telling y'all about that somebody had to remind me of when I was like, I don't remember one female who ever got done this way. Like, this don't happen to our women, our black women like this. Artists. And somebody told me, like, you forgetting one person. I said, who? They said, Magnolia Shorty. I said, rest in peace to Mac. Do y'all remember Magnolia Shorty? Tell me, do y'all remember Magnolia Shorty, who was with No Limit? Now, she was the queen of twerk. She was the queen of bounce. After her, Big Frida came in and took Magnolia Shorty place. I think so too, Miss Core. I think so too. Especially the new producers. Like, I can't wait to see what Risky Part 2 gonna be. And y'all know the lyrics to Risky. I don't wanna fall in love. It's kind of risky. Right? Next thing, come on, man. Next thing you know, the ex-lover breaking the house, steal the jewelry. Come on, man. She said she wasn't with all that. She wasn't with all that. But back to Magnolia Shorty, y'all. So I think Magnolia Shorty was gunned down, right? Magnolia Shorty, she was about to be big. She was under the No Limit umbrella, if I'm not. Was it No Limit or Cash Money, y'all? Let me get it together. I want to say Magnolia Shorty was with No Limit, right, y'all? Was it No Limit or Cash Money? I want to say No Limit. I want to say she was with No Limit. And she was about to blow. Queen of Bounce, Queen of Dance, or whatever. She was pulling up. I think she had just got her first big check. Like, I think she had just got signed. Like, she was on her way to break through, though. She kind of was like on the level of like BOOG, but nah, BOOG was bigger than Magnolia Shorty, because I think BOOG had a wider fan base. But coming from New Orleans, Magnolia Shorty was the truth. She was pulling up in her house, and I think she was in her 20s when she passed too. She was young. She was pulling up. I have to look into her story. Notice how it's always on the verge of being, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, that's why when people say, when you blow, is it best to stay in your hometown or leave? I think it's best to go. I think it's best before you even blow to leave your city. I mean, some people could still stay, but you could live on the outskirts of something, maybe an hour out, 2 hours out. But I think just when you get a certain amount of success, a certain amount of fame, you gotta move. Even for instance, like say for instance, people who just say for instance, big drug lords and stuff, they serve this stuff in the hood, but they don't live in the hood. They know they are targets. They know they assets, so they move away. I think it's best to move. I really do. My opinion, especially nowadays in this day and age, man, people know who you are. They know you winning. They know you shining. We in the era of culture vultures, this backdoor era. I think it's best to go. But yeah, y'all, Magnolia Shorty, she was with No Limit, Isaiah, but that was her plan already. I'm already knowing, yup. And did y'all see the video? What's her name? The clothing line who book wear her clothing line all the time. Ambrosi, I forgot y'all. Y'all know I'm talking about. Start with an A. Hot clothing line too. It's hot. But she did that. Did y'all see that video I put on my community that she shared to Courtney? And Courtney was already, she was like, yeah, she like, what's your plan, Courtney? You leaving, ain't you leaving or something? And Boog was like, yeah. Everybody was saying Boog was on her way out of there. Like, everybody I talked to, a lot of people emailed me who knew Boog and was like, yeah, she just wanted to make sure Miss Wanda was straight. But she was out of here. She was gone. Like, and I believe the people who pulled this knew that. Whoever was around her, they knew something was going on. And I believe some people didn't want to get left behind. Boog had cut a lot of people off that wasn't no good for it no more, especially coming into 2021. She was moving different. We seen her kick the door straight in. Straight took her respect. Like, yeah, I have arrived. She been arrived, but 2021, it was on. She was on to do major things. And the people around her knew that. They knew they was about to get left behind. Look at Mr. KB, the old best friend, who teamed up with the scorned ex. Man, them type of people knew they was about to get left behind. And a lot of people felt entitled to her success. And that's just what it was. Just recently seen her modeling video on YouTube. Yeah, listen, Boog drip sauce. Boog drip sauce. When it come to swag and creativity and being a visionary, man, I ain't seen nobody yet. I ain't seen nobody yet for her to be her age that was a visionary the way that she was. That's why I said Starseed. Shout out to the Starseed. Shout out to my chosen ones. Visionaries. She knew the stuff that was gonna happen before it happened. She went and got baptized on Valentine's Day. Let me get my life together. I know everybody got a path. But she knew she was on a new journey in her life. It was a new chapter. You know, she wanted real love and she wanted real, genuine people around her. She knew a lot of people was attracted to her for all the wrong things. She talked about it in all her music. How people try to use her and take advantage of her. And she already knew what was up. She already knew what was up. That's why I said she stayed 2 steps ahead in everything that she did. And she dropped this and gave us clues throughout the music, the whole journey. So we could be talking about her afterlife like we doing now. Legendary. Left us all the juice. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Come on, man. Y'all know Baby Pipeline the truth. Y'all know Baby Pipeline the truth. So listen. So she left us gems along the way the whole time. So when my people told me, like, man, I know you talk about BOOG all the time. Like, y'all don't understand. I listen to BOOG every day. I share her story with everybody that I know, my friends, families, peers, business partners. I'm constantly talking about BOOG and how they did her. So everybody know how much I love BOOG. I got artists that I love that I fucks with. Period. Whether if they here or gone or whatever, I follow their careers and become a real true fan. I only have 5 real artists that I feel like is visionaries and they woke and they conscious rappers. J. Cole is one of them, one of my favorite rappers. But Lauryn Hill is another one of my favorite female rappers. You know what I'm saying? Lauryn Hill is just, she on a different type of time. That's another conversation. But back to the Magnolia Shorty situation. So my people is like, yeah, you always talk about BOOG, but you know, it's another female who got killed. They did her worse than Courtney. I'm like, who? He like Magnolia Shorty. I said, you know what? I forgot all about Magnolia Shorty. Magnolia Shorty just got her, I think, her first big check. She coming through New Orleans. She moved into an apartment complex. Where's how? I'm about to tell y'all the story on Magnolia Shorty. Actually, I'm about to pull it up for y'all right now. So listen, she pulling in an apartment complex after doing one of her biggest shows she ever did under the Cash Money umbrella. She had some dude in the car. Now, I don't know if the dude was her boyfriend or somebody like her brother. I forgot because this happened over 20 years ago with Magnolia. Magnolia Shorty died like 98 or something. But anyways, man, somebody pulled up on the car. I think they shot Magnolia Shorty 40 times. They shot the car, man. They shot that, man. It was like some crazy stuff. Like she got shot like 20, 30 times allegedly. The dude got killed. She was with. The car got lit up. Like it was like an ambush with machine guns. And to this day, her murder is still unsolved. I don't believe they got Magnolia Shorty murder. I'm about to pull it up for y'all so I can show y'all. But that's what I'm saying. Worse like that. Like she was one of the first black females that tragically was murdered in a way that we ain't never seen before. But y'all know back then, New Orleans, I mean, New Orleans still got his record, but back then it was on it was crazier back then. I don't know. Do y'all think New Orleans is crazier now? Or do y'all think back then when the Cash Money was really hot is when it was the worst as far as crime? Hold on, y'all. Y'all, I done took so long. Y'all probably went and found it already, huh? Okay, I'm about to pull it up. Magnolia Shorty. That's Magnolia. The Magnolia Shorty story. Let's see. It might be a commercial. So I could just show y'all, like, so who's the other girl? The other girl what?
You know, Cash Money Records.
Cash Money, I figured.
Probably one of the greatest hip-hop labels in music history. And they still relevant today. Now, before Nicki Minaj got there, Baby and Slim had signed a couple of other female MCs.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get to the part where they talk about the See, that's her and Baby.
Like a father and a daughter type
Magnolia Shorty. They did her dirty.
Real close. Baby, he protected her. Another fact is, she later introduced former Cash Money artist Turk to Baby and Slim also. Now, like I said earlier,
right, she introduced Turk
Records had signed a
to Cash Money
named Miss T, who was 14 years old, and Miss T.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get to the part.
Interview with M. They dropped an album together called Gutter Girls.
Cause I want y'all to see the part.
She was living in a gated community
Here
at that time. She was going to an apartment to get some clothes before heading out of town to do a show in Florida. She was with a guy named Jerome Man Hampton.
That's the man who was with her got killed.
Jail, and she was trying to mentor and help him with his rap career. Now, Magnolia Shorty's family told her not to deal with him because of his criminal past, but she was just trying to help him. Now, around 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon, 5 days before Christmas, she was pulling up to her gated community when all of a sudden, 2 cars pulled up and blocked her in. 4 guys got out of the cars and started shooting non-stop inside of Magnolia Shorty's car, shattering windows and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some say they were even standing on top of her car, shooting her.
Y'all hear that?
When it was over, the cops found like 100 shell casings.
100 shell
Magnolia
casings.
Shorty was shot 26 times.
She was shot 26
She
times.
was killed in the car with Jerome Hampton in a double homicide. She took 26 bullets. She was hit 26 times, y'all.
26 times, 100 bullets.
Say that the hit really was for Jerome Hampton for revenge or something he did in the past of an ongoing gang or something. Some beef he had with the gang.
She was the first black female rapper got murdered this way, ever.
Shorty was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. In July, gang member Gregory Rabbit Stewart admitted to federal prosecutors that him and 3 other gang members was the ones that killed Magnolia Shorty and Jerome Hampton. And the crazy part is, on November 17th, 2011, a year later, her husband, Carl Bridgewater, was shot and killed. He was found lying next to a vehicle, multiple gunshot wounds to the head.
Magnolia Shorty's husband was killed
Carl
too.
Bridgewater became the 181st homicide that year for the city of New Orleans. It's crazy, man. But you know,
her Lil Wayne.
Years later, Magnolia Shorty's voice was sampled on the #1 song in the country by rapper Drake called In My Feelings. And shout outs to Drake for keeping her name alive too, man. That's a good look. That's a good look though, man. So y'all make sure y'all go check out Magnolia Shorty's music online.
Yeah, y'all check her out.
Shout out to her cousin Keely Black, who sound just like her, doing her thing too.
So y'all know I just wanted to show y'all Magnolia Shorty. That was crazy what happened to her. And then, so do you feel like she was another female sacrifice? You know what? I never thought about that. AKA Nikki. Um, do y'all that's a good one. Because y'all know back then when Magnolia Shorty was murdered, the word sacrifice wasn't even floating around like that. Like all this stuff with the boule and the industry, we didn't really know about. Well, I wasn't educated back then. I don't think a lot of people were saying the word sacrifice. But thinking about it now, I don't know. That's a good question because think about it. They said the dude she was with, Jerome, she was mentoring the boy. Hold on, wait, y'all. And another thing they said, did y'all hear that they said Magnolia Shorty is the one who introduced Turk to Baby. If it weren't for Magnolia Shorty, Turk would never even be a Cash Money millionaire. Yeah, she was signing Cash Money. She was signing Cash Money. But the thing is, was she a sacrifice? That's hard to say because think about it. The dude who they just said she was mentoring, the dude was on some revenge with him. But the crazy part is, why would they shoot her like that? Because from what dude just said, from what the reports say, 4 men jumped out the car. It seemed like they kind of did her like FBG Duck got murdered. Do y'all remember how they assassinated FBG Duck? I think they said, didn't they say one car, four men jumped out of one car, or was it two cars with 4 people in each car? It was something like that. The 4 men got out the car, they ambushed Magnolia Shorty car, ran up on her, and then they said they stood on top of the car. Yeah, but I seen police leave Duck on the floor. Yeah, that was crazy. That um I still can't really watch that FBG Duck with him on the ground like that. That's crazy. He was another good one too. I like FBG Duck. I like FBG Duck and I like King Von, some of King Von music too. I like FBG Duck. I like both of them though. I like Lil Durk too. But I think this is my thing with all of them. I think they all are very talented. They all was very talented. And Lil Durk, they all talented. But they on that demon time. That's why I can't really get into their music. But when it comes to the talent and the creativeness, you got to give it to them. All 3 of them, King Von, FBG Duck, and Lil Durk, very creative. But when you on that demon time, you know that ain't the best kind of music to really put in your spirit. You know, that drill music. To each his own. I know it's a crowd in the audience for that too. But you gotta expect when demons on demon time, you know. It ain't a good thing. You know, it ain't a good thing. Rest in peace to all of them. Everyone dies around Duck. Dirk around Dirk. Yeah. It's a lot of people die around Dirk. And y'all know who else a lot of people die around too? Bobby Brown. We was talking today about how it's crazy how Whitney Houston overdosed, Bobby Christina overdosed. The white boy who found Bobby Christina in the tub with Nick, he's dead. And then Bobby Christina's boyfriend, Nick, he's dead. And now Bobby Jr. is dead. Why is it? And then don't forget, y'all, do y'all remember when Bobby Brown, I think, had them twins in the 90s or something? Them twins had died. There's a lot of death around Bobby Brown, too. And look at Dirk now. Them sacrifices most definitely is real. Them sacrifice is very real. And let me ask y'all something too. Do y'all think not Lil Baby, do y'all think the baby sacrificed his brother? Because it do seem like every time people reach a certain level of success, family members die. And that dude who supposedly killed Jennifer Hudson family, did y'all see the interview with him? He like, I ain't did none of that. How did I do that? I wasn't even there. It's like they ain't even got no proof that he did it. I don't know, y'all. He looking like he was just a fall guy in a way. He was like, why would I didn't have no motive to kill all of them. I love them. Like, why? But it is crazy. But do I think Magnolia Shorty was a sacrifice? That's something I really have to think about, because how they stood on top of that car and still shot her. She was shot 26 times. Magnolia Shorty was shot 26 times with 100 shell casings on the ground of the car. They had to have some high power guns. Them was high power rifles. Them was military guns. They probably had ARs and all kind of stuff out there. Like, and then to kill a girl like that, like what was he into that made them dudes do him like that? And then Magnolia Shorty, that was just overkill. It was just like they just sprayed. They was just, and then stood on top of the car and continued to shoot her 27 times, man. I know that was a closed casket, man. Rest in peace to Magnolia Shorty, man. Y'all check her story out. She was very talented. She was the originator of the twerk and the bounce music. It was Magnolia Shorty, but they just now started calling it twerk. She was the queen of bounce. After she passed, a decade later, here come Big Frida. Yeah, the baby. Some people say the baby sacrificed his brother and stuff like that. They say that about Megan Thee Stallion sacrificing her mom. I mean, we ain't gonna act like sacrificing real, but ain't real. But like I tell people all the time, celebrities are humans just like we are. They die from back doors. They die from regular stuff just like we do. Everything don't always gotta be a sacrifice because they're a celebrity. Things do happen. They real people. Yeah, his brother did commit suicide. Did y'all see that? That was crazy. How he Yup, that was sad when the baby brother committed suicide. And that video, what's that boy? Was it Indiana Red or Indian Boy? The boy who supposed to have vandalized Nipsey Hussle mural and they killed him on live. Did y'all see that video? That was crazy too. That was crazy. But yeah, back to I'm gonna go back to the book, the bed, and y'all real quick, because I know we can get off subject sometime and talk about other things. But I did just want to bring up them certain things, and Friday we gonna talk about it. And when my people reminded me of, he was like, you know what? Magnolia Shorty, and that was crazy what happened to her too. I said, but right, so what other artists, like female artists, get done that way? I haven't seen nothing tragic in a female rapper murdered plot twist like Magnolia Shorty until 20 years later with Boog the Bandit. Was they back doors? Magnolia Shorty, they got back door. They was being followed and watched. Somebody pulled up on them, dropped the location because Magnolia Shorty, she was just going in the house to get some clothes. She was going in the house to get some clothes and running right back out to the car. Somebody followed her. As soon as they pulled up, them dudes was right on them. As soon as she got out the car. She didn't even make it inside the house to go get the clothes. Next thing you know, who else? What other rapper that y'all could think of was tragically murdered after Magnolia Shorty until 20 years later until Boog the Bandit? That's why this is so. This story is not normal. What happened to Courtney Bruce? This is not a normal story. This is not a normal circumstance. This is something that don't happens in our culture with our African women, our rappers. The female rappers, they always got somebody or some kind of uh um but look at the similarities though with Magnolia Shorty and Boog the Bandit, as far as both getting killed in their hometown, right? Both getting tragically murdered in their own town, in their own cities where they was birthed, born and raised. Everybody knew who both of these women was, Magnolia Shorty and Boog, in their hometown. Everybody knew who these young women was. They both was tragically murdered in their 20s. Like I said, this don't happen in our culture. This haven't happened in 20 years. until Boog the Bandit story. That's why I feel like we got to keep the momentum going. We got to keep her name alive because this whole situation is so unnormal. It's hard to fathom. People who love Boog and real fans of hers, her families, people still got to live with this. And not only are we affected by it, the people who love her, look at these young men, families who are affected as well. That's why when I tell y'all people do these murders and they think they just going after the people the person who they want to take out or they despise, they don't understand how many lives are affected by the decisions that they made. They took something very valuable from us. Boog was great. She was loved. We would love to see what she was going to become or who she was going to bring with her. I think Boog is one of the few artists in Columbus that I think would have put Columbus on bigger than Bow Wow. I think if she would have still been living, I most definitely could see her doing things that people wouldn't be shocked. We wouldn't be shocked because we knew how great she was. We knew how talented she was. We knew how creative she was. It was nothing that she would have achieved that we wouldn't have been, like we would have been just mind blown. Like even if she would have made it to the Millionaire Club and the M Club, we would have seen all of this coming because we followed her career and we believed in her. We wanted to see her be great. But unfortunately, we was robbed of that opportunity. Her family, her mother was robbed of a daughter. It's a sad situation. So now that I see people popping back out, a lot of people thought the story had died down. I see people getting back comfortable. I think it's time to make people start feeling back uncomfortable again because all eyes is on these people that's involved or could be involved. All eyes is on them. Man, ain't nobody in this story coming outside comfortably. They not. Even with Mr. Lockhart being in another state, y'all think he's still not affected and still got to constantly watch over his shoulder. This is something that is going to affect everybody that's involved. Even Mr. Kyson, he's sitting in that jail cell, quite sure, crying, regretting, and breaking down and feels stupid as hell. Where he done told on his whole goddamn squad. And honestly, he didn't give a damn about them little dirty dudes because as soon as he got locked up, he went and told straight on them. He wasn't even locked up 30 days before he told on everybody. That's why he was smiling in that mugshot. Look at them. Who smiles in a mugshot who's convicted of a murder? That last comment disappeared too fast. Like, who smiles on a mugshot? Mr. Kyson looked like he got some serious mental issues. Looking at Mr. Jamonda Williams mugshot, straight broken love, look like a straight follower, doing whatever he can to survive and probably get the next drug. All them boys got looks of confusion on their face, like something is mentally wrong with them dudes. No, ain't nothing happened with Mr. McIntyre. Ain't nothing happened with him. He's still on the run. I'm just saying that it gotta be this dude is 17. Who is hiding him out besides? It gotta be his family. It gotta be his family. What money do this little dirty dude got? Man, let me show y'all something. No, I'm not. I can't. Man, listen. I got a picture of this dirty dude, man. Little dirty dude in front of a car. Flexing, holding like, man, this dude flexing with like $100 and spreading it out like it's about five. But that right there, that mentality, I seen the mentality. I said, oh man. I'm gonna just flash this for y'all. I don't want to show it to y'all, but let me show y'all something real quick. I'm talking about the mindset. Like, hold on, man. He got about $60. Come on, man. Look at the mindset. He got like $80. and spreading it like it's 5, 10 band. Like the mindset of the people, man, the mindset of these kids. That's why I'm saying a lot of stuff is just, when I say little dirty dudes, the mindset. So they did all this. So that little money that they took from Boog, that Mr. Kyson was gonna pay them boys thought that was some real big money compared to him spreading $80 out. Like, come on, man. The mindset is greed. You feel me? It's greed. The mindset, that's not his truck. The little dirty dude spreading $80 for the gram. These little dudes ain't paying no bills. These little dudes ain't had no houses and no cars and nothing like that. Them little dudes was caught up in a lot of different weird stuff. It's a lot of different stuff them little dudes was caught. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The receipts is coming Friday. I just be having to show y'all little stuff to let me know. These pictures is coming from the pipeline and the people in Columbus. Some of this stuff is on social media. These boys, man, everybody got 2-3 backup pages. I got all their pages. Shout out to the pipeline. Shout out to the pipeline. MJ got a new page talking about some I'm back. Oh, no, you ain't. You about to go back in. Cause you thought this shit died down and now you pop back at my new page. I be girl. No, you not. You ain't coming outside like that. You know it's a lot of eyes on you, baby. Move cautious. Move cautious. Cause it's a lot of people. Cause a lot of people got a lot of eyes on a lot of people in Columbia. For real, for real. That's what it is. People is gonna pop out. They popping out, but here's the thing. Man, listen, the police is watching everybody. The police is watching everybody. Y'all think they not? Come on, man. Technology is at an all-time high where it's ever been in 2021. These people have control over everything. Our phone conversations, our emails, these YouTube platforms, social media. Everybody think they so low-key, go straight to social media. The police eyes dead on them. It don't matter if you get a new phone number. You got to get permission to open up. Let me tell you something, man. This how, I don't know if people get this part or not. Just because you get a new number don't mean you don't have to put your personal information in to access stuff. You cannot access your microphone. You cannot access apps. You cannot access Facebook without putting your information in to accept. You have to accept their terms and conditions for them to dig into your personal business. When you set up them social media sites and you doing all this shit on this phone, everything is registered straight to you. Straight to you. Social security numbers, all kind of stuff. So that's why I be thinking, like, people be thinking they be so under the radar, and you really not, especially when it comes to murder investigations. These people know what's going on, and just because people not locked up now, don't mean they ain't gonna never be locked up. That don't mean that. My thing is this. We gonna keep talking about it until Mr. McIntyre get locked up. Whoever don't want to hear it, you ain't even gotta come over here and listen to it. But we will be talking about it until Mr. McIntyre go to jail. Now, we may not talk about it every day, but we gonna keep Boog the Bandit's name alive, a.k.a. Courtney Bruce. Her family needs justice, and the people, we need justice. They rounded him up quick. I mean, honestly. It really was quick how they got Mr. Kai. We was kind of waiting, but when you look at the time and how fast time go, they did get Mr. Kyson and Mr. Williams fast. They got him fast. Now, third wheel is Mr. McIntyre. When they get Mr. McIntyre, I think everything is gonna start coming together. Especially if they when what's the name, Mr. Kyson go to court in December, it's all gonna come together in due time. But only thing we could do is still listen to Courtney Bruce music, keep her name alive, try to, stream her music, y'all buy her music, because I'm quite sure the proceeds and any profits, quite sure gonna go to her family. And then of course, management team, labels, y'all know how that stuff go. But whatever y'all could do to support, and eventually the royalties is gonna go to Ms. Wanda. So that's why it's important that we continuously keep great people alive. Don't let, because once you let stuff die down, the media, the police, and everything is going to slow down. Not saying they going to slow down because it's an investigation. They going to do their job. But I'm saying the more people keep it active and keep her name going, the more things going to come to a head and justice is going to be served. Justice will be served. Now, however, people feel like, oh, this person got something to do with it, that person got something to do with it. I feel like everybody got a little bit to do with it. I don't. I'm be honest, y'all. I don't think it. I don't think it's too many people that's too innocent in this. It's a lot of people who their actions don't add up when it comes to this story. And this is just allegedly. Some stuff is facts. Some stuff is allegedly. Some stuff is hearsay. Because we hear a lot of stuff. Just like on the internet, we read a lot of stuff about this story. It's up to us to just, make your mind up on what you believe and let the truth come out. Because eventually the truth is going to come out. Justice will be served. The people court dates is coming up. They rounding them up. So I think it's a good momentum, but I'm still going to keep talking about Courtney Bruce until Mr. McIntyre gets locked up. And when Mr. McIntyre get locked up, at that point, I feel like we'll be in a good position. Anything else that come after that, that's just extra. If other people go down, the truth came to light. And that's all we really could say. But people just can't, y'all just can't act like this story is just another headline. Courtney ain't another headline. She's something different. She's somebody we love, and she's somebody who we all respect. We don't want to see this go down like this. This is sad. Even talking about it. Them iPhones, man, listen, them iPhones, them smart TVs. Don't get them smart TVs. They got them cameras in there too. Them webcams, them laptop, everything with technology. Like they said, the phone records, when they went through them boys' phone records, this has been planned for months. They've been planning this for months. So who all was part of the planning? Who paid Mr. Kyson and how did Mr. Kyson, what was the connection with Mr. Kyson and them young dudes where he knew to go get them young dudes? What did you say about Mr. McIntyre? Hit it again. Somebody said something about Mr. McIntyre. The second comment from the lab. Did you say what I say about Mr. McIntyre family? Isaiah, I think Mr. McIntyre gonna play a huge part in the case. You know why? Because everybody have different stories. Mr. Kyson has his story, Mr. Williams have his story, and Mr. McIntyre have his story. And guess who else is a key witness who got a story too? Mr. Lockhart. Yeah. So they got everybody's statements except for Mr. McIntyre. So yeah, it's gonna help connect the dots. Absolutely. Because who knows what Kyson and Mr. Williams is saying? Mr. McIntyre is the youngest. He scared and everything else. Like, this is murder case. Do y'all understand that? This is murder. Everybody ain't built for this shit. Everybody ain't built for murder. People can't handle that. Some people would rather be dead than go to jail for the rest of their life. Mr. McIntyre is scared as shit at 17 and facing a murder charge. Y'all don't think that boy terrified at 17? He's scared to go to jail. That's why he on the run. They got to catch me. His family is scared for him. That's why they hide him out. But at the end of the day, it's still harboring a fugitive. He is a murder suspect. He is wanted. He's scared as shit. Yeah, his story gonna come to light. He gonna connect a lot of dots. He's the last one whose story we don't have. Everybody involved, we got their stories. We know the role MJ could have played. We know the role, MJ, well, I'm going to say could have played because we know the situation with the jury in Miss Wanda's house. We know what role she played. We know what role KB played. We know the whole role Mr. Lockhart played. We know everything. We know Mr. Williams, what happened with him. We know the library incident. We know Mr. Kyson. The families feel like Mr. Kyson ruined their boy's life because they said he recruited them. The families is at war. So, yeah, Mr. McIntyre is the last one that's going to connect the dots. After that, if they don't get nobody else in custody or they ain't got no other, because listen, everything is about proof and evidence. Them alphabet boys is not about to come for nobody if they ain't got proof, hella proof, that they is involved in this. Only thing I don't understand is even with Mr. Kyson taking immunity and pleading the manslaughter, I still don't understand how he ain't getting charged, how he ain't getting hit with bigger numbers just because of he was part of the murder. That's the part I don't understand. 15 years? I think they said, what they say? Y'all, I can't even remember, y'all. I'm sorry. I think Mr. Kyson would fake 10 to 15. I think they said, is it 8 to 10, 8 to 15 or 10 to 15? Manslaughter? I don't understand that. I still don't get that. Ain't nobody out on bail. Mr. McIntyre ain't out on bail. Ain't no Mr. Williams, they not bonding that little dirty dude out. His family ain't up like that to bond him out. Look at it. It don't seem like nobody coming for him. Not to be so harsh, but man, listen, he played part in the murder. He has to be held accountable for his action. He's a grown man. I'm not trying to sound so harsh, but ain't nobody coming for him. Y'all know how much his bond is? Look at Mr. Kyson bond. Ain't nobody coming for them. So here's the thing. Mr. McIntyre is the last one that's on the run. When they got the evidence already, they charged him with her murder already. You can Google it. They charged him. They said Jamonda Williams was the second suspect they picked up, and Mr. McIntyre, Sincere McIntyre, is the third suspect charged with her murder. He's on the run. So yeah, he's the last one who ain't gave a statement yet. He's 17. Who knows? He might come and tell the police something totally different from what they said. Think about it. He probably rehearsing what he gonna say when he get in the interrogation room. But interrogation, it don't work like that. You're just not about to go in there for 10, 15 minutes and come up out of there. Unless you just go in there and just strictly confess to everything. But they gonna drill him in that interrogation room. He gonna buckle under pressure. Kyson buckled less than 30 days and he was the oldest one. So just imagine what Mr. Williams and probably Mr. McIntyre probably, gonna say, or Mr. Williams said and Mr. McIntyre didn't say. We don't know. But I think he is the last one that's gonna bring the puzzle together. They're gonna put his story with their story and figure out who lying and telling the truth. Y'all know how it go on First 48. I just think it'll do good. Honestly, y'all, I'm just saying real talk. Listen to this. Even though Mr. McIntyre is scared as shit on the run, and whoever is hiding him is scared for him as well, if it is his family, it would be better if he turned himself in. Right, First 48, because y'all know the interrogation room, how they be in First 48. Man, I be seeing, man, y'all be seeing how they be breaking down in First 48. I be like, that's crazy. They play real tough. Soon as that door closed, they get to crying, singing, telling on everything. I'm sorry. Tell my mama I love her. I didn't mean to do it. Crying and everything. Grown men. Grown men. That's a different type of time, y'all. That's real serious, though, for real. When you think about, and they telling you be getting 50 years, 60 years, 40 years, and these boys is 17 and 19 years old, you could be facing life and never coming home. Y'all don't think Mr. Williams in there having meltdowns And Mr. McIntyre out here on something else, stressing. This is a murder case. This is scary. Knowing y'all killed a girl. On top of that, they all know this was wrong. They knew it was wrong and they knew it wasn't worth it. That's why I think it would be better if, honestly, if Mr. McIntyre turned himself in. Y'all might think I sound crazy, like who gonna turn themselves in? Don't make it worse. The longer you run, worse the consequences gonna be. Right? Who knows? Hey, we hope don't nothing bad happen to the young man. You know what I'm saying? People do crazy things. They try to commit suicide, commit suicide, commit other crimes, or do something else to get hurt or get killed before they can get caught. It's a lot of different ways this thing could go with Mr. McIntyre. I just hope, and if the family really have his best interest, it would be best for them to tell that young man to turn himself in, repent, get his life together with God while he in there, and do what's right. Because this is going to hunt him for the rest of his life. And living on the run ain't fun. Living on the run is stressful. He going to fall under pressure. He most definitely going to fall under pressure. Living on the run ain't fun. Living on the run is some stressful ass shit. Out of resources, out of money. You can't do this, you can't do that. You tired of sitting in the house. Everywhere you go, you got to be under disguise. You can't do this, you can't wear that. He stressed the hell out. Stressed the hell out. That boy probably ain't sleeping or none of that. Imagine his parents. Imagine his parents. They going through it too. And they know their son is charged with this murder. They know it. Now, maybe the family, maybe his parents don't got nothing to do with hiding him out. But maybe somebody in the family is hiding him out, some close friends or something. But we all know how black families get when they tired of dead weight. Black families ain't about to just let you keep sitting up. I don't care what's going on. Unless he really got some money from what we saw, the little $80. I don't think he got no money. I think he out of resources. I do. And I think people gonna get tired of eventually he's sitting in sorrow, knowing he done killed this girl, an innocent person who didn't have nothing. She ain't deserve that, and they know who she is. Whoever is hiding him out, know that's fucked up what he did. People probably talking to him every day. Go ahead, turn yourself in. It ain't worth it. He probably breaking down. I'ma turn myself in tomorrow. Flip over the next day. I'm not going to turn myself in. They got to catch me. You know that 17-year-old mentality. Probably getting high, getting drunk, stressing, probably keep talking about it. Hold up, is that picture of him recent? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Shout out to my pipeline for sending that to me. Absolutely. Now, that's a picture. I don't know if it came off his social media or if that came from somebody who knew him, who took that and sent it to the pipeline. Yeah. Yeah. That picture looked like that came from a personal source. So I don't really know if it was off his social media, if that's somebody who in his crew or somebody who ain't really his biggest fan and sent it to him. Like I told y'all, the stuff that come over here come from the people in Columbus. Shout out to the pipeline, man. And a lot of it don't come from Columbus. I'm going to say that too. It's like in the middle. Because I do get a lot of emails and receipts from the people in Columbus. And I also get a lot of receipts from people who knew Courtney or worked with her that's not in Columbus. She is people who follow the pipeline and follow this story. Like I told y'all, all around the world, BOOG was loved. So many people from different places reached out to me like, if you need anything, shout out to Daily Tri-State for that artwork. That picture y'all tapped on when y'all seen her by the moon. Shout out to Daily Tri-State for sending that to me. And people be hitting me up from all places like, we loved her. Like, I worked with her. She was great. And then they come like, oh, well, I was here and I'm a Miami Sweet Heat, and she was a member of Miami Sweet Heat. I'm like, oh yeah, it was different people from all over the place. Like, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, damn. With me covering Boog's story, like I told y'all, I realized I knew how much she was loved, but I didn't know how huge everybody looked up to Courtney Bruce. Nobody had nothing bad to say about nobody. I ain't came across one person, even the people who didn't like her. Nobody came to the pipeline and disrespected her, even if they didn't care for her. Nobody came and said no foul shit about her or nothing disrespectful. Everything I heard was just giving her flowers. Like, she was great. She was a visionary. She was this. She was inspirational. She gave me this. She gave me that. Somebody told me that they was in the studio with Boog and they was doing beats with her, and she was there for like 6 hours and then go to sleep all night. They said she was a workaholic. I heard another story about a video shoot that she was shooting up to like 3, 4 in the morning. They said she had so much gas. They was like, she was always just working. She wasn't really too big on like, she hung with all kind of people, they said, but they said her main thing was her work ethic. They said her work ethic was incredible. Isaiah grinding. That's what everybody said. They said she's a grinder. Only thing I ever heard to me that was weird is when it came to MJ. That's the only thing I ever heard. Everything that negative about the story, a lot of the stories that I heard came from the Scoring Lover. That's all I could say. So when you really look at people and in the scenarios and how things go, man, you just gotta be careful, man. Cause like I tell y'all, everybody ain't always with you for the right things, man. Some people attracted to you for the sex, how you look, what you could do for them, what kind of car you got, how many cars you got, how many chains you got, how big your booty is. Like, a lot of people ain't really with you or for. I'm not gonna say all, because it's some good people out here. It's some good men out here, and it is some great women out here. Everybody is not always against you. So let's be clear. We just have to make better decisions on who we choose to be around and who you choose to tell information to. That's what it is. And sometimes you don't even have to tell people nothing. People be watching. They pocket watch. They watch you. Like, somebody always watching. Even on your block, wherever you live at. You may think it's quiet, ain't about, man, it's always somebody watching. Always. And I always try to let people know that. Like, man, it don't always gotta be you talking to a lot of people. You could really be to yourself when you carry yourself a certain kind of way or you move a certain kind of way. A lot of people be wanting that, but they don't know how to go about achieving it. So they try to take it. They'll take it from you. And you gotta, whatever lane people is in, man, you try to respect their lane. And if it ain't what you with, you get out their way. Get out their way. And I just think that I just wanted to talk to y'all about that today because, man, I got some emails. I would say the last 3 days I've been getting emails again about the book, The Bandit Case, and I could tell it was like, okay, I'm gonna speak on it a little bit, but I'm like, it's weird. Why people? It's some fishy stuff going on. But guess what, y'all? That's why I pulled back, because first of all, I was getting pissed off about the little, like, just how they did her. It was pissing me off. So I was like, you know what? I gotta step back for a minute from this case because it was emotionally taking a toll where I really was thinking about it every day, all day. Like, it consumed so much of me where I was like, you know what? I gotta pull back from this. And in the process, when I pulled back, it was the perfect time because I needed things to move the way that it's moving now. That's why I didn't. When the Williams family came at me, I didn't address them last week. It wasn't no need to. It wasn't that serious for me. And it still ain't that serious now. But I still have to give my pipeline, my subs, what they looking for because we love Boog. We want to know what happened. My pipeline, we want to know what happened to Courtney Bruce and why. And I'm quite sure everybody else do too who love her. So when I fell back, I said, you know what? Out of respect, I feel like it's best. After I got the attention of the people who I wanted, that meant something to me in this case, mission was accomplished because I wanted this story to hit home. I wanted her family and her real fans to see we love Boog. We ain't just gonna let it just be that way. Y'all got support. We here. We here for y'all. You know, the Bruce family, whatever we gotta do, we here for support because we have to understand the grief and the trauma that that family is experiencing and how great that she was. So it was only right that we keep her name going and keep this story going because people want to know what happened. So when I pulled back, I said out of respect, I got the attention of the people that I need. At this point, we've been covering it for 3 months. I ain't trying to keep going further just for no clickbait and no numbers. I'm not for that. I'm not for that. So if I gotta pull back and walk away from a story and move on to the next, that's what I will do. Because long as I get my message out to the masses, my mission is accomplished. Whether if y'all agree with me or not, and everything I say, you don't always gotta agree. We can agree to disagree respectfully. That's cool with me. That's cool. But to do it for clickbait and just keep running stories and narratives with no meaning or I ain't into that. So I stepped back. I said, let me step back, let it breathe for a minute. Soon as they thought it was dead, I get hella emails the last 3 days about all kind of shit. I'm like, so what's going on? Now, only the last 3 days, last week, with the Williams family, talking about, I said I got a video of Mr. Williams. I never said I had a video, ever. I don't have no video. Only video I had was the 911 call. I never said I had a video of Mr. Williams doing anything. What I did say is that the people on Dirt Plays, I'm quite sure had cameras who captured the whole image. That's what I said. But we gonna get into all that Friday. Don't worry about that. Exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you for backing me up on that. So she like, da da da. Don't worry about it. I'ma show y'all. I'ma show y'all the family member. I'ma show y'all her name, who she is, and I'ma show y'all what she said. And then I'ma also reply and give her the Williams family what I want to say. And I'm gonna show the receipts. And I'm done with their situation. There's no need to go, I'm not about to go back and forth with them about facts. It's a fact. So what I'm gonna go back and forth with them about? My thing is, why y'all wait till we at the end of it? We own Mr. McIntyre. We don't care about Mr. Kyson and Mr. Williams no more. We don't. What is they're in custody. What is there to lie on them about, and what is there to keep caring about? They been held accountable for their actions. We done with them. We worried about Mr. McIntyre. That's it. We just worried about when he gonna get caught. Simply as that. After that, I think all the dots will be connected. Once they get him and capture his side of the story, and they put everybody's story together, Mr. Lockhart, Mr. Kyson, Mr. Williams, and Mr. McIntyre's stories together, Mr. Kyson go to court in December. Because they probably connected to them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is the thing. Remember the live I did? I did like 2 lives. Do y'all remember when they kept coming in the live saying that they was brothers? They was brothers. People kept saying that, like, Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre is adopted brothers. So I'm like, which one of them was adopted by the family? Is Mr. McIntyre the adopted brother? And Mr. Williams' family adopted him, allegedly? Because this is allegedly. Yeah. Yeah, like 4, 5 people. Man, listen, this is from different people and 2 different lives. Different people from different lives. Kept saying they is adopted brother. brothers. And if you look at some of their cases, they cases is similar because they did a lot of crimes together. But I never compared their cases and the dates. I didn't take it that far. But that's just what somebody told me. That's what the lives was saying. I'm like, they brothers. They was like, yeah. They very familiar with each other. That's how Mr. Kyson knew allegedly to go get them because they is allegedly adopted brothers and they is known for being on bullshit in the streets. That's how they connected. That's what I heard. I'm not saying it's a fact. It's allegedly. But different people kept coming in saying it. So y'all know how I am. If more than 3 people said it, got to be some truth in it somewhere. Somewhere. Maybe they both, maybe like y'all know how y'all young and one family. Let's just say for instance, somebody family, one of the friends mama is on drugs real bad, one of their mothers. So as a friend, your mother always feed the friend and let the friend spend the night because your mother know that his mother ain't shit. Y'all know what I'm saying? Maybe it could have been one of them situations where people was like, okay, well, they brothers because maybe one of their mothers raised the other one. And then somebody said they was adopted. That's what people were saying. So this is allegedly. So I don't know. But that's what they saying the connection is with both of them. So then when the whole thing happened with what Mr. Williams, with the whole thing that was like he was in 2 places at one time, because it was like he was released on one case on bond and something else. It was a lot of confusion. So I'm like, what the hell was going on? But that's what they were saying. Like, okay, well, they connected. So it's a possibility Mr. Williams know where Mr. McIntyre is. Maybe the police is going to make something happen where Mr. Williams could get out and go get Mr. McIntyre. I'm like, if that's the case, allegedly, he would have to be an informant. So that's the part we was like confused on or whatever. We don't know. We don't know. Same thing with the drug story. Everybody kept saying, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Everybody in Columbus know it's about drugs. Drugs, 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 drugs. Y'all heard me saying that probably throughout the whole time I've been covering this drug. Everybody can't keep saying drugs if drugs didn't play a part somewhere. Now, the drug story don't have to be the motive. That don't have to be the motive. But if majority of the masses is saying it was drugs involved, it got to be some truth in there somewhere. Came out, allegedly, it was Mr. Lockhart who was going to sell the drugs, allegedly, on Door Place. I don't know this for a fact. This is just allegedly. So, it like I said, so we really don't know how it could go. But what we do know is when they get Mr. McIntyre, a lot of stuff gonna come to the head. Phone records. Come on, man. Boog brother came to the live. Khalid don't have no reason to lie. This is his sister. Winter PX, the Boog is her cousin. They was there. They talked to the police talked to them. They didn't have to lie. What would be their reason to lie about anything? I'm just saying. So, however this cookie crumble, I'm not 100% satisfied, but I'm satisfied with the progress. Mr. McIntyre, he's the youngest and he's the last one. The third, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be the last one they charged with the murder, but far as right now, he would be considered the third suspect. I think once they get him, I think a lot of the stuff is going to come together more than what we know. Because trust me, the police already know. They just ain't releasing it to the public. They know a lot of stuff. Just like I want to know, how did that 911 call get released, but they didn't release the whole call? Y'all see how the higher ups, they play them games sometimes. It's like they gave us a little bit just to run with, to still play guessing games with us. Because you could tell through the 911 caller, we really couldn't tell. We knew that wasn't the whole call. That wasn't the whole call. But they did let us hear some important things because the lady, it was like she was trying to save Courtney. She sounded like she was trying to save her. But then it's like, did the lady turn back around because the lady said she was getting out of her car? It did sound glitch. I got the 911 call, I think, on my community, y'all. If y'all want to check that out. Um, what was her name? Who I got that audio from? I want to say it's Reality Honey Reality. Um, Damn, that was so long ago. I gotta go back to that video because I did shout her out. But I want to say her name was Reality Honey or Honey Reality. She got the 911 clip, the same one that I have. I got it from her. And then I emailed her to ask her about the other footage, but she ain't never get back to me. She ain't never tell me nothing, so I don't know. But I was wondering, I asked her, like, where you get that footage from? Where you get that footage from? She a white girl, Reality Honey. Shout out to her too. Cause she ain't had to give me permission to use that clip, and she did. So shout out to her. But she was puzzled about the 911 call. That's when I came across the 911 call from her. I'm like, wait a minute. And the clip is only like 15 seconds. It's like a 15, 20-second clip. So I'm like, yeah, this 911 call was altered. There's some glitches in here. You can hear the glitches. Like, I don't even want to play the 911 call no more. I have listened to it so many times. It's still sending chills through my body listening to it. Listening to it still send chills through my body. Because the lady was like, oh, when I rolled past, she said, I just rolled past and I just heard pow, pow, pow. And then she said she heard Boog say, what did she say? She said, Courtney said, because don't quote me on this show. I got to listen to it. It's been a while since I listened to it. I believe she said, help. She said, she said, I seen her get out her car. So I'm like, how did she know that was Courtney's car? Courtney was in a black car. She was not in a Caprice. So I'm like, how did the lady know it was Courtney's car and it wasn't even Courtney's car because she rode with Miss Lockhart, right? So it was confusing the 911 call. She was like, I seen her get out her car. That's what made me think, like, was Courtney driving based off the 911 call? So when discussing the autopsy, she was sitting, running from the wounds. What you mean she was sitting? You said she was sitting, running from the wounds? Because she said she heard Courtney say, y'all help me. They just shot me. So that's what made me say people had to be on Dork Place. It was some people out there. This was in the evening time. It was just about to be summer. It was spring. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't hot either. It was broad daylight. People was outside because who would Courtney say, y'all call 911, they just shot me? Who else was out there if it wasn't no witnesses? She couldn't have been talking to the assailants, and she couldn't have been talking to Mr. Lockhart because they was robbed for their phones. They was robbed. So who could have been talking to? That's one thing. It's a couple things in that 911 call that I'm still not 100% confident with. I was asking, was she already out the car getting shot? Allegedly, because I'm not sure on this part, y'all. I'm not sure. I heard she was shot in the car, and then I heard that she was shot outside the car. So I don't really know about that. When Khalib came over here and Winter PX, we didn't discuss that, but we did discuss. He did say how many times she got shot. But just from off the article, if y'all Google it, it's saying that when they got out the car, but the lady said when Bud got out the car, she was already shot. She said she seen Bud get out the car and she heard Courtney say, call 911, they just shot me. That's what the 911 caller said. And then she said, hurry up. She's having a hard time breathing. She can't breathe. So I'm like, if the lady was just riding by, because listen, I'm not trying to say the lady lying or not. I'm just saying this 911 call was altered. it's stuff that ain't lining up with what this lady is saying. Because it's like, if you just riding by, how did you see her get out the car, get shot, ask for help, and having a hard time breathing if you just riding down the street? That's a lot to see. I still don't see how a person could see all that just riding by. She said she heard the gunshot. So my thing is, and I'm not saying, and see, this the part that I need to understand that'll help me make this more clear for myself and maybe for y'all too. Was the lady coming down Dorp Place, coming towards the circle when she heard the gunshots, or was the lady leaving the circle? Was she coming from around the circle and going up the street? That I think if we could clarify that part, I think maybe the 911 call would make more sense. But as of this moment, we don't know exactly where she was on Dorp Place. But if you seen all this, it seemed like the lady had to be close. I don't see how you could see that in the middle of Dorp Place. I don't see you heard gunshots. So you heard gunshots, but you didn't see nothing else. You heard the gunshots. You heard Courtney say, call 911. You heard her get out you seen her get out the car, but you didn't see nobody out there with her. That's why I said the 911 call had to be tampered with. Because if we basing it off of what the lady is saying, it's stuff that don't add up to what she's saying in that 911 call. They chopped that call up. It was only 15-second call. So it was edited. Somebody they man, listen, them higher ups, man, when it come to this media and the news, they always play head games with us. That's why I always say we gotta be smart. We gotta do our due diligence, be smart, read between the lines. Because they had to, who else could release a 911 tape besides the police? Besides somebody up there on that higher level? Who could release that 911 call and edit it? Think about it. To release it the way Reality Honey got it and put it on her page and then let me use it, it was altered. When she got the same video she got is the one I got. And that's the only one that she have. Now, I don't know if she I don't know if Reality Honey got the full audio because she never got back with me. Only thing I know is that that's what she played. She played that. And she was talking about it. She was like, well, why? And me and her had the same questions. She was like, well, why? If that's the case, she didn't say she seen nobody. If you seen all that. And this was a white girl. Shout out to Reality Honey. I said, yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I straight got the footage from her. Send me the rest of it. Never got nothing back. So when I ain't get nothing back, I assume she must have had a full audio because I searched for the whole audio at least for like 2 weeks. When I got that, I said the other piece got to be out there somewhere. I'm thinking maybe I could find a snippet of maybe the end of the 911 call and try to put it with the snippet that she had. You know what I'm saying? But it's nowhere out there. I couldn't find it. I could not find it. When I researched. I couldn't find it nowhere. So I said, oh, they put that out to mess with us because we knew we knew that wasn't going to make sense. Some people probably just heard it and just flew over their head. But people who love Courtney and follow her and respect her, we paid attention to that 911 call. And there's a lot of stuff about that 911 call that don't make sense. Either the 911 call is altered or the lady is lying. That's the only two it could be. What y'all think? Do y'all think the 911 call was altered, or do y'all think the 911 caller is making stuff up? Because it sounded like she was really concerned. But I was wondering, this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. Y'all don't run with it. This what I was thinking. Could the lady possibly could have been one of Mr. Kyson relatives, knowing he got relatives on Dorp Place and covering up for him? Because she didn't say. She didn't say. And this was just a thought of mine. Because I'm like, man, where did this lady come from? Like, I mean, I'm not saying we not glad that she was there. I'm glad that she was there because she did call 911. It did seem like she was trying to help her. But then it seemed like it was some stuff that wasn't making sense. She said, I seen her getting out her car. Who say that? If you 911, hey, it's somebody I just seen her. She is a black. She got out a blue car, the driver's side. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Do I remember her? We need to figure that out. Why in a particular play with her audio because she sounded suburban. Yeah, Isaiah, listen, man, the lady was shook. The lady was shook, right? And she was on Dirt Place, right? She was one of the only witnesses that was not connected to this case that was there, who was an eyewitness. She had to see the killers. She had to see them out there because if you see, because listen, Mr. Lockhart drove Courtney to the hospital. So how the lady ride by, see Courtney get out the car and do all that, but you didn't see Mr. Lockhart and the assailants out there. Then she said she's having a hard time breathing. She said, "Yeah, call 911. They just shot me." Yeah, we gotta figure out who she is. The 911 call. I would love to talk to her. I would love to talk to her on the pipeline. I would love to find out. But that's why I was thinking, like, hold on. Is this one of Mr. Kyson people who live on Dirt Place who possibly could be covering for him and then say their names and then say she seen them to cover up, but still try to get Courtney some help? Because everybody knew who Boog was. That lady know exactly who she was. That's why the 911 caller was shook up because she couldn't believe they did Boog the Bandit like that. Courtney Bruce, the lady was shook. She like, oh my God. Oh my God. They and how did you hear she said, how did you hear her say, y'all call 911, they just shot me? If she got shot in the chest, right, which we know, she was shot in the chest, she was winded, had to be saying, like, she wasn't hollering at the top of her lung, y'all call 911. She was shot in the chest. 5'1", 15 pounds, soaking wet. How is she saying, how could this lady be so far but so close at the same time? That it don't make sense to me. It don't. I don't understand that part. And as much as I listen to the 911 call and try to listen to the lady background, it was real airy. You could tell she was outside or in a car. But I listened to everything. Like, I literally listened to the background noises, try to see if I can hear somebody in the background and the lady on the lady 911 call, like people in the background. I can hear nothing. It was just all air, all air. And that's why I say it sounded altered, because if she was coming, now I could see her. Now, if the lady was close by that circle, right, I could see her hearing that if she was close by that circle. But what I don't understand is how you didn't see Mr. Lockhart and all them out there at the same time. If you seen her get out the car, it's just a lot I don't understand. And then where did they get the part that they said she was they said she walked to the hospital? What made people run with that story? That's what made me say, and this is not this isn't a fact and this isn't allegedly. I was just wondering to myself, like, is it possible when she resisted the robbery, she tried to take off? You know what I mean? Like, take off running. And is that why people think she walked to the hospital because she ran? I'm just saying, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it still, y'all. That open field. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And here, this the thing. If it was, if Mr. Lockhart was allegedly going to go meet, because y'all know I still gotta say allegedly, even if y'all know the truth, we know I gotta still say allegedly. If he was allegedly going to go do this drug deal, where exactly was Mr. Kyson and them with the mask on? Did they had to pop out with the mask on already? Because this was broad daylight. This was broad daylight. I'm quite sure when they pulled up, they just weren't sitting in no car with no mask on. I'm just saying, all three of them just with masks on, waiting on them to pull up. Man, they popped out somewhere. Man, it seemed like they popped out somewhere. It seemed like this was all unexpected. Like they planned it, but Boog, she walked into an ambush. This was all unexpected to her. She didn't see none of this coming. Them boys was not just sitting there waiting for them to pull up with masks on. That's why I said from the beginning, from the first day, I said this wasn't random, y'all. This was planned. This was planned. Them boys just weren't sitting out there with no mask on. This was planned. So I'm like, okay. If I said when I seen everybody running with the story, she walked to the hospital and walked herself. I said I never heard of nobody getting shot in the chest that many times. And then when I GPS Dork Place to Mount Pleasant Hospital, I said, nah, ain't no way she walked. They did get the cell phone records. They got all their cell phone records. That's how they ended up locking Mr. Kyson and them up, because the phone messages is what led the police to Mr. Kyson's people, who he called to pick up the money, allegedly. He made a call after the robbery or before the robbery. Y'all, I forgot. It's been a while, like in the beginning when I first was talking about that part. I believe he was telling them before it happened, he was going to, it was either before or after. He had the phone records. That's how they ended up knowing what family members he called, and he was involved because of the phone records. It was all in the phone records that he had called the family member to come pick up the money. That's how that part went. And I heard that, and I think I read that or heard that. Y'all, it's been so long. I ain't even gonna put that out there like that because I can't remember. But I do remember for a fact was that he did the cell phone records is what got him jammed up. That's how they knew that he called the family member to pick up the money. I don't know if the family member, I'm quite sure the police, y'all know the police, tracked down that family member and got their side of the story too. Excuse me, y'all, and got their side of the story too. And that's how stuff was really started coming to light with a lot of different things. After they rounded up Mr. Kyson and he folded on everybody, it was just a matter of time before they got Mr. Williams. And we thought it was just going to be the same way with Mr. McIntyre. With him being the youngest, I'm actually surprised he's on the run the longest with him being the youngest. I would have thought they would have been and caught him by now. But I still think it still ain't going to be. I don't. Do y'all think he going to be on the run for a year, 6 months? Y'all think it's going to be that long? Because I thought, honestly, after they got Mr. Williams, I thought it was going to be like a week before they got him. You give it another week. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not giving it that long myself. I don't. He's a kid. He's out of resources. I think the guilt gonna sink in. I think family members gonna start, whoever's hiding him. Because we don't know if it's his family members or not who's hiding him. It just seemed like it would with him being 17. He don't really have too many places to go. The walls is getting thin. And eventually the conscience is gonna fuck. The conscience is, excuse my language, y'all. The conscience is gonna mess with you. When you do heinous stuff and you go out here and kill kids and kill people, Mr. McIntyre, these boys is not skilled, trained killers. These are kids. He is shook. I don't think he gonna be gone that long. I don't. Honestly, I don't. He might be gone before it even get cold outside, honestly. He's running out. Time is running out. Resources is running out. And if his family got him, they harboring a fugitive. And then if he ain't with his family, whoever he with, gonna get tired of the dead weight. You in the way. You dead weight. You ain't bringing no money in. I know you on the run. Listen here. Go turn your ass in before I turn you, do. This shit is getting overwhelming. It's time to go lay it down. Be a man up. Get your life together. Go turn yourself in, bro. Hopefully somebody can guide that young man in the right direction and tell him to go turn himself in. Because the longer he run, the more time he gonna get. And that's just that, straight up. And it's sad to say because I know he like, damn, my whole life is over. Absolutely. You should have thought about that shit before you got yourself involved in this. Absolutely. Absolutely. He need to go to jail, kid and all. I don't really care about him being no juvenile. You 17. He will be charged as an adult. This is murder. I don't think they gonna let all them walk on no manslaughter. Only reason why Mr. Williams got manslaughter because he took community and told on everybody. It's not going to be the same deal with Mr. Williams and Mr. McIntyre. And is Mr. McIntyre on the run because is it possibly his bullet could have been the one that killed her? We don't know. They is matching them bullets up, forensic and everything else. Is that the reason why he's on the run the longest? Because he know when them guns come back and match up that his bullet may be the one? Because BOOG was shot multiple times. You know, she was shot more than once. So, who knows? You know, was it Mr. Williams' bullet? Was it Mr. McIntyre bullets? Was it both of their bullets? You know, one of each. Who knows? But the police is already on it. Unless, I don't know if they 9 out of 10, they don't got Mr. McIntyre weapon. They ain't got the weapon. So is that a reason why he's on the run the longest? Because we got to think about it with him being the youngest. I'm going to tell y'all, when I first started covering this, people was telling me, like, it wasn't meant for her to die. They didn't mean to kill her. It was an accident. That's what people was coming to the pipeline at first. And I would say the first 3 weeks, I was covering the pipeline. It pissed me off because people kept saying it was an accident. It was an accident. Man, this wasn't no accident. They shot multiple times, shot out the car, a pistol whipped her, robbed Mr. Locke. I mean, this wasn't no accident. Accidents don't happen this way. This was too many things that was, to me, personal. Yeah, I'm like, it was an accident. They like, you not getting it. It was supposed to, they said it was a robbery gone bad. So my thing is, who sent them that way? Because do y'all remember the first month of me covering this, I got the email that said, somebody from Columbus emailed me, and y'all got to go to my older videos with BOOG to see the receipts, because I drop receipts all the time. I put the receipt up of the email of the dude saying, I'm not for sure, but word on the streets is it was a popular thief. Do y'all remember that? It was a popular thief in the neighborhood. It was a popular thief that just so happened to be in the neighborhood that day. I was like, that was in the beginning. I'm like, well, who? I said, do you know the popular thief name? He was like, well, I don't want to release it because I'm not sure, but I do. And they said, I do hope he get what he deserved. So the whole time, before they even knew who Kyson was, people in the streets was already saying it was Mr. Kyson. We, the people who not from Columbus, didn't know that because it wasn't on no news or nothing. That's why Pipeline News. Hit the like button if you in here. Shout out to the Pipeline. I said, he said, yeah, and I hope he get what he deserves because she didn't deserve that. So I ran it on my channel. I said, well, they saying it was a popular thief in the neighborhood. I said, no, this was more than one person. I said, they said it was multiple gunmen. I said, well, who is the popular thief then? And I said, if that's the case, he had to have somebody with him because they didn't know. Because first, this was what we was first thinking, like, they didn't know that Mr. Lockhart was with her. But turned out, and then listen, man, that's another conversation because I don't even want to walk back down that journey. But we gonna walk down that journey Friday. But this the thing. They came and said all Mr. Kyson friends got dreads. It's a possibility she could have been going to go do his hair, do one of his friends' hair, Mr. Kyson. So I'm like, okay, well, what connection is that with Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Kyson? And they was like, oh, they all know each other. I said they all know each other. So I was running it on my channel like, y'all, did they go to school together? Da da da, how everybody connected. And that's how the pieces started coming together. That's how everything started coming together with the characters and this and that and the other and who knew who, how everybody met. Boog met Mr. Lockhart through the baby mama. So it was a lot of this pieces started coming together. So I was like, okay. So the popular thief had to be Mr. Kyson. And Mr. Kyson went and recruited Mr. McIntyre, Mr. Williams. So when they said it was an accident, they was just supposed to rob her. They was not supposed to kill her. I said, nah, that wasn't it. This was personal. This was personal. This was very unexperienced. It was very unexperienced. This how I knew from man, listen, 30 days, like 30 days after Boog died and we started putting the pieces together, I told the pipeline, I said, I'm going to tell y'all something. This got little dudes written all over it. I said it before they even had Mr. Kyson locked up. Before they had I said, man, these were some little dudes. Based off the story and the information as public information and the receipts that was coming through, it couldn't have been nothing but a backdoor by some young dudes who really didn't care. They didn't care. They was just out for what they can get. Looking at the picture that Mr. McIntyre spread with the $80, that goes to show what type of time they was on. Yup, and little did I know when it came out, y'all, they all was young. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I couldn't see, y'all know what? I'm going to be honest. When you look at Courtney Bruce and everything we know about Bug, I couldn't see no OGs, no vets doing this to her. I just couldn't see that. I'm like, this ain't, in the way it was done, and it was sloppy, and it was an overkill. They just went overboard. I said, nah, this ain't no OG work. This ain't no vet work. This got little niggas written all over it. I said it. Came straight out. Everybody involved, little dudes. This was too much. And then they sold P-Brain. They did all that to a girl. That's the part I don't understand. They didn't even do all that to Mr. Lockhart. So yeah, when it came out allegedly with Mr. Lockhart having something to do with, absolutely, the whole world feel like, yeah, he was the last one with her. I think that was everybody first instinct. Like, well, why he didn't get shot? Because we was running that on the pipeline for a long time. Like, why he didn't get shot? What happened? And then as time started going on and we started getting the stories and outsiders and more family members started coming to the pipeline. And we felt how we felt. I gave my opinion. And then when we had Winter PX and Khalid, Courtney brother and her cousin, come on the pipeline a couple times, you can't argue with them. I wasn't gonna argue with them about nothing. Only thing I just didn't understand was I didn't know if Winter PX was really family or not, but I could tell from the beginning, I could tell the way the information she was dropping, she couldn't have been no outsider. I said she got to be an insider somehow. But at first, because y'all got to think about it, a lot of people come at me from different sides. A lot of people, like, y'all know I'm 2 steps ahead. They act like they on one side and then they be for another side because they be want me to change my narrative. MJ people did it, and MJ people did it, and what's that boy name? Mr. Lockhart brother. They both try to throw me off a little bit. But then Mr. Lockhart brother cleared it up. He the one who told us Cam was driving. I didn't even know Mr. Lockhart was driving until he called himself checking me on the pipeline. And was like, you keep my brother's name out your mouth. He was driving. He was her brother. I said, oh, thank you, Mr. Quan. You the next content for the next video. Sure did. And put his whole goddamn message up and everything and pointed his ass straight out. Yeah, you the one who said, yes, I did. I exposed him. You said that he was the driver. So then when the lady, the 911 call say, I seen her get out her car, I was conflicted. I'm like, wait a minute. Was she driving or was she the passenger? And then we still got the stories that that we read, the articles and everything like that. But now it's all crystal clear. But these is the things that I just wanted to talk about, like what could have happened. Just like everybody else, this is the news. I am a blogger. I am here to give y'all information and topics to discuss. This is for educational purposes. This is what this is. This is what we do. So it ain't like I'm just out here just lying on people and putting stories together. Nah, this is what's happening. This is what's printed up in headlines. This is what the people were saying. This is what public records and court records and documents are saying. So y'all really gotta pay attention to the content. Cause what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna humiliate myself for no views and no numbers. And I most definitely ain't about to humiliate Courtney Bruce or disrespect her family. That's what I'm not about to do. I'm not about to do that. So thank y'all for y'all time. My phone is about to go dead. Thank y'all for giving me y'all time. Hit the like button if you in here. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button on your way out of here. Hit that notification bell. So when I go live Friday at 7 p.m. with the response from the Williams family, response to the Williams family, and the receipts. Oh, thank y'all. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Y'all too. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. Don't forget to tap in this Friday at 7 p.m. Go to the change.org if y'all can. Go donate to Courtney's Bruce headstone. They still trying to get her headstone. Y'all do what y'all can. And feel free to email me anything 24/7 pipeline news 2020 at gmail.com. Friday at 7 p.m. You ain't gonna want to be there. I'm quite sure the Williams they've been watching these lives ever since I've been doing it. They want to keep something going on and make it seem like I'm messing with their people. It's nothing to talk about. Why y'all just now popping out? Why y'all been in tune? But y'all just now popped out when we came to a close with everything. Some people love drama and love chaos. I think the same energy she gave to me about him, she should have put that same energy into her relative, and maybe he wouldn't be in jail for murder. I'm just saying. So y'all come in Friday at 7 p.m. Hit the subscribe button on your way out of here. Also email me any info, any gossip, any receipts, pipeline news 2020 gmail@gmail.com. Even new topics y'all want to discuss in the future or down the line. Yeah, the devil working. I'm like, why they pop up? They pop out now last week. Like, quit lying. You got a video. Prove you got a video. I never said I had a video, silly rabbits. I never said that. Pay attention to the content. I believe the footage is on Door Place. People on Door Place seen it. And everybody got the Ring doorbells. And the police most definitely got the footage too. Man, ain't nobody about to play with them. See y'all Friday. Until next time, I'm out of here.